Hey guys, it's Tenant here today, and a quick little update. I'm finally going to start focusing on Weiss a little bit more and Shadowverse. Still want to do the Let's Plays, but you probably won't see a video from me for a couple days at least, because my roommate is being tasked with the responsibility of getting us internet, because Comcast has upped our bill. So until he actually does what he's supposed to, I won't have internet. But today, I want to bring you guys a ReZero deck. It took me forever to get ReZero. I know that ReZero's been out for like 3-4 months now, but I wasn't able to get the REMs to actually build the meta deck. But now that I've actually played it a few times, I think the deck is amazing. It doesn't kill people like your typical like big finisher decks. It just wins through pure value. But let's get right into it. So at level 0, I'm running 16 level 0s. The first thing I've got here is this random tech card. You could probably drop this if you want to. It's a 4K. It's an overstated felt. And what it has is when you play it, if your opponent shows you their hand and they have a climax in it, you have to rest it. So it can give you valuable information on their hand. It's a 4K, so it's hard for them to deal with. Going first, It's just an all-around solid card, but you only run one of it because you don't want them resting your cards all the time. We're playing 2 right here of this Ram Brainstorm. It's just a salvage Brainstorm, and then I think it's got it has like all cards with Subaru in its name, some like other effect, and then it bonds a card we don't play. Use it for the Brainstorm. It's great. Playing 2 Bridal Rems. It's got on play, you give another card, you give any card 1500 basically in the deck. And then it's also got on attack mill top, or reveal top, it's mill. Reveal. Okay, you do something with the top card, and then you add to hand and then ditch it on attack. So, hand filter, on attack, absolutely insane. It costs 0 stock, 1500 attack is a bonus. You're really not going to be killing much at your level 0. Playing 2 of this is like a Suicider. It's out of color for the deck because we're playing blue-yellow. But it's got, not only does it kill level 0s, but you also have the ability to sack it and pitch a card from your hand. Card, not character, so you can pitch climaxes and salvage any card out of your waiting room. So if you're like about to have to refresh, you've got like 3 climaxes, it is actually possible to just like play this on board, pitch a climax, salvage it back, and just keep doing it to not get fucked over by the refresh. That's absolutely insane as far as value goes. It also lets you grab your level 3s because it's not restricted on anything. It's just like a character. You can get anything out. Absolutely insane. You have 2 of this Amelia right here. It has on play, reveal top if it's basically any character in the deck. Add to hand, pitch. So you can get climaxes out of your hand, get like high level cards, get more level 0s. And then it's got on attack, mill the top card of your deck if you have 1 or less other characters. So if you've got like 2 of these out, you could do the mill twice, as long as you don't hit the first time. You mill the top. If it's a level 0, it goes into your back row. So it basically is like, it helps you keep advantage, right? Because a runner keeps advantage by not dying, but this gets you another card on board. So this is like a straight +1 if you get the mill. And then we're running 3 of the Felt Runner. It's got mill top if it's a character. Well, basically any character in the deck. It's trait restricted to like magic or weapon, but that's every character. You can run to any open position. So they either have to tri-field to get rid of it, or you have to like whiff and mill a climax. If you mill a climax, sad times, but it does happen. Then we have this card, Ricky Rem. It has come on play, you pay 1, you take a damage, and then you get to search for any level 1 or lower in your deck. And then, if that wasn't enough, because right, that alone is enough to be a good card in most sets. It's also got on attack, mill the top. If it's a climax, you get to draw 1, pitch 1. Man, I've hit like this has hit a climax for me like 3 times out of like 7 or 8 games. And just every time it feels so good, because then your stock is clean for the most part. I mean, unless you're getting deep dicked, and then your stock might not be clean. But it's a pretty great card. Now then, into our level 1 game. So this is we're playing 2 of this Reinhardt backup. It's basically a 2K backup for free. I don't know. This card's fine. I mean, you could probably drop this, honestly. The more I've played the list, I think I've used this card like twice, maybe. I mean, it's there for when you need it, but most of the time you don't. Because if you didn't notice, at level 0, I'm not playing like any back row. Like the only thing I'm playing in the back row is my Brainstorm. I'm winning through like cards coming back to my hand and pure advantage. I'm not winning through keeping shit on the board. I'm winning through recursion. I've got 2 of this puck. It's a 6/5 if you have an Amelia, and it goes to the bottom deck when it dies. I don't think I've ever actually played this at 1, because I don't really play many Amelias, and no Amelias that will stick to the board at least, other than the level 1 combo. And then usually I'm not playing this. Like, I might play this and then crash it into something to put it at the bottom, just so I don't have a climax on the bottom. Right? That's pretty nice. And then it's used with your restand. That's the main reason you play it. It's for your level 3 game. Oh man, so the best thing about ReZero, I think, is this like little package right here. I'm playing 2/2 of Hitaro and Mimi. So if you've never played ReZero and Weiss, this combo is insane. Hitaro has discard bond for Mimi, and Mimi has pay a stock to bond Hitaro. And then they both have resonate. They both resonate with each other at the beginning of your climax phase. So Hitaro gains 4,000 power, so he's a 6/5 for the turn, and he has 2 soul, and he's not able to be reversed by level reversers. So he deals with, like, I don't know, prominent decks, like Love Life Sunshine maybe, and I think a few other decks use level reversers. He's immune to them, so he puts some presence on the board with that. He's got 2 soul, so he helps you push for damage. And then he's also he's just a fucking great card. Now Mimi, all right, because 6/5, right? 6/5 on this thing, it dies, but like you get to bond it back with the card in your hand. This card gains 6,000 power. So this is an 8/5 with the resonate on your turn, and it can't side attack, right? But a level 1 8/5. Like you don't need the back row, right? You don't need the back row when you're dropping this. Like even just one of these, and then like if you play a climax, it's a 9/5 on attack. Most decks can't handle that. Most decks cannot. And even if like this wasn't suffice, you can just use him. Also use a discard bond. So like if you're flooded with climaxes and the 50 other cards you have aren't enough, you just use him. You just use him. You pitch the climax. You grab her, and then look, you got fucking 2 soul beater on top of it. It's like you basically played the climax. Continuing on though, level 1. Okay, the last card in our level 1. We're playing 4 of this Amelia. If you have 3 other characters, so right, you basically have to have like a full fucking board here. You got to have like 3 cards. It gains the ability that when you play the climax, it's a book climax, so you're gonna have to dig for it. You get the ability to on attack look at top 4 and add a character from the top 4 to your hand. Self mills really hard, replaces itself. Oh, and it gains 1,000 power too for the turn, so it's gonna be a 7K. I mean, if it lives, it lives. If it doesn't, you don't really care because you get the pluses either way. Grab out basically anything, mill your deck, get to your refreshers faster. On to level 2. I'm playing some like weird ass tech choices at level 2, so don't judge me here. I've got 2 of this felt. It's the free fresh. When it comes into play, you can pitch the climax, search your deck for a felt and a Reinhardt or a Rom. And then, yeah, I think that's it. Or no, a Felt, Reinhardt, or Rom. You can search out any one of those. Really, you're searching out the Reinhardt usually, or sometimes the Felt as well. And then you free fresh and you early play the level 3 Felt. I mean, not much to say. This card actually doesn't go off as much as you would hope. Like, you've got so much fucking milling, and it might be like 1 game in 3 that I actually managed to get that off. I mean, when you get it off, it's pretty insane advantage. And then I've got 3 different tech choices at level 2. First one, this card. It's an anti-level 3 against 4,000 power and a soul, and when it reverses a card against level 3s, and when it reverses a card, you get to look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck and put them back in any order. So if you see like a climax on top, you might go put the climax as the second card, poke for 1, and then just like waste your last swing. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Like 2 cards isn't a whole lot, especially with you not knowing what the third card is. So I guess like poke for 1 or maybe put the climax on top. I'm not really sure. I actually haven't used this card. I'd probably drop it. Rest counter. It's a 2,500 backup, and you can pay 5 total, so 4 extra, and rest one of your opponent's cards. Save me multiple times. Absolutely insane. Fuck the cost though. I mean, usually I have 0 stock after. This is an Amelia backup. It gives 2k to level 3s in front of it. And then it has on play, draw 1, pitch 1. So that's pretty good. It can help you get down to your 5 cards for the felt. And then it's got brainstorm, and then you choose your opponent's characters, and they can't stand during the next turn. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I've never really used the brainstorm offensively. I've never had to, at least. I've never been in a position where I've felt that I could. But on to level 3, we're playing 3 of the early play Rems. This is the card that's fucking like $20. You can't fucking find them online unless you're buying the full deck outright, which I wasn't willing to do, but I managed to find them somehow. If you have 2 or less climaxes, you early play it, so it's a level 2 basically. It heals on play, and then it gets on reverse. You can put a card under it as a marker from your waiting room, basically any character. And then for each marker under, it gains 1,000, so it's 10-5, basically on the turn it's played after it kills something. And then it just snowballs from there. This is the only reason you're probably playing the Reinhardt backup, because giving this extra power gets an extra marker, and then you can maybe snowball out of control. In reality, what happens is you play this, and like if you ever have like 2 or 3 of these, never fucking play them all, like, right? If you play them all, you get like sack countered, and then you just cry, because a lot of decks nowadays can kill this. Even on offense, like you can just like, it's 9-5. People have ways to get over it, and then they have like sack counters, and then they sack counter your card, and then you lose like 2 cards on your board, and you just fucking cry. I mean, I guess you just got to know what you're playing against and be aware of your opponent's situation. You're playing 2 of this felt. This is the early play felt. I'm only playing 2 because you get it out of deck, and as long as you're paying attention to your stock, that's not too hard. It has, I think if you have 3 other cards, it's a 10-5. It's a 10-5, so it's normally an 8-5. And then it has, on attack, you get to choose a card from your deck, any one of your characters, put into your stock, and then it's also got pay 2, give a character cancel burn. I don't think I've ever played this for the sake of playing it. I'm usually either trying to push for damage. I'm not trying to compress at level 3 as hard as I should. At level 2, when you're early playing, it feels great. At level 3, I mean, pay 2 for 1 instance of cancel burn. I can seal the game sometimes, but for the most part, I usually find that my opponent's in like a... I don't like giving my opponent turns at level 3, right? Because of the crazy finishers. Even if I'm compressed, sometimes I shuffle bad. Sometimes you never know what your triggers are going to be on attacks. I've lost like fucking 4 climaxes out of 3 attacks just through triggers. You never know, right? You don't want to give your opponent turns. And that's why we play this Amelia. This Amelia is fucking insane. It has something. I think it's all your characters are like within trait. It's an 11k. And then the turn that it's played, it has pay 2, pitch 1, sack 1 to play a puck from your waiting room to hand. From your waiting room to field. So what you do is like, right? Okay, this is like, so it goes with a combo, right? Because you usually play this Reinhardt too. This Reinhardt's insane. We'll talk about it in a second. But you can basically clear off your entire board and put a puck here after it's on reverse. It does that, and it also has memory shoot if you decide to, like, you know, maybe keep it for some reason. So you reverse their character, you sack a character over here, you pitch a card, you play the puck over her, you kill something with the puck, it goes to the bottom of your deck, and then you have this Reinhardt out alone. You've attacked 3 times already, and then you can attack with Reinhardt. So I guess we'll talk about Reinhardt now and why that's really good. Reinhardt is like the dankest card in all of, probably in the entire fucking game. He has bodyguard, so they have to attack him if he's in the middle. And then he also has 10k power, right? And he costs 3 fucking stock. But if you have experience 6, which I might want to play a few more level 3s, or you might want to play more yellow level 3s, so I find I would get myself color locked trying to get this effect off. You get some effects. You get 6 effects, to be honest. First, he gains 10k power, so he's a 20,000 power bodyguard. Then he gains hexproof, so backups, they don't work against him. But just in case they were like using power backups, he also gains the ability that he can't be backed up on. And they can't play events either, so they're pretty much kind of shit out of luck against him, since he's hexproof and he can't be backed up. Then he also gains memory shoot. So anything they attack you with goes to memory. They basically can't encore their level 3s. If their finishers don't kill you, they don't get a chance to use them again. They don't get like any encore effects. They don't have like really any options. If they have restanders that don't need to reverse, they don't get those either. It's a good card. Then it's also got on reverse pitch 1, burn 1. And that includes your opponent's turn. So, right, they're trying to kill you. And they're like, holy shit, what do I do against this 20k, right? They start crashing into it. You can just kill them on offense. You've got like 3 cards in hand. They're going to be taking maybe up to 3 damage. And if they don't, I mean, like, do you even honestly care if they don't? Because, even more important, though, with that Amelia combo, this gets 4 burns total across the 2 turns. But if they don't kill it, like, if it doesn't kill them on their turn, you can basically tri-field, and you've probably burnt out climaxes with this burn. Great card. And then, of course, you're playing your book combo for your Amelia. You're playing 4 of it, and you're playing 4 of the Felt Stock Soul. But yeah, so some tips I would give you guys if you were like thinking about building this deck. The Felt, this card's not really super important. This card's not really super important. And that's about it. I would say this deck is like there's a lot of different ways you can build ReZero, but after playing this build, like if you were wanting to like play something close to the meta, like these are the 2 cards that I would drop if I were you. Everything else is fucking amazing and just gives you so much board presence. But that's all for this video. If you guys want to see more Weiss content, you know, like the video. Tell me what you guys would like to see. I've got a lot of other sets that I can build decks of. I know I'd be willing to build decks out of sets I don't even own if you just give me some time. But until next time, this is Seriotenin signing out.